And welcome to Impact 2024, our continuing conversation where we talk about all different types of topics, current events, everything that you can think of. And we do it from the perspective of myself, Black Christian man, and from you. And the way we get your perspective is by typing in your comments and your questions into the comment and question section, the comment section of wherever you may be, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, website, whatever method that you have of getting hooked in with us. Feel free to type in and put in your 2 cents, as people say. And so we encourage you to put in your information, making sure that your voice is heard. As we do from time to time, I like to jump right into giving you some of the information that's going on with us here at Amani Christian Ministries. We are here on Thursdays, Thursday Thirst at 7. That's our Bible study. I encourage you to join us for that. We're here on Sundays at 10 for worship service. And also, if you're in the area, please come in person. Otherwise, Facebook and YouTube, same place. And then on Tuesdays, right here where we are at 7, you can join us for prayer from 7 to 7:45. Just like to get that out of the way, because sometimes I think that people may not get it at the end. So I want to make sure that I get it at the beginning. Before we get started, just wanted to, a couple things that just happened. Father's Day just happened. So I want to wish everybody, all the fathers, happy Father's Day. And that upcoming is Juneteenth. It is the 18th today, but tomorrow, the 19th, is Juneteenth. And so we want to celebrate that. For those of you who don't know what it is, not going to go into a big, long spiel about it now, but please do educate yourself on it. It is I'll say a special holiday for this country, specifically African Americans, but for the whole entire country. The national, I guess, acknowledgement that slavery was over, as they say, or should say. All right, and so hitting those 2 points first before we hop into our topics. There's been a lot of stuff that's been going on. As we always say, a lot of stuff lately. Of course, this is that hot button, or not hot button. This is a hot time of year. It's an election year. Of course, we all it's the end of the year when it's going on with kids and the graduation time. It's the time where a lot of people are now starting new jobs. It's a lot going on, and so we have an opportunity to hit on and touch on a lot of different topics. And we're trying to really kind of do that here, make sure that we don't get stagnant and stay in one place. We have the opportunity where we talk time to time about criminal justice reform. We talk about issues, a lot of issues when it comes to race. And we can get stuck there and involved in that because we can talk about that all the time. There was always something going on with race. We didn't touch on the recent event where had a young lady graduating and her father didn't want her to shake the hand of the superintendent. Now, some people say that was race. Some people say it wasn't. It just really depends on how you look at it. But there's a bunch of different issues going on. But what we're going to do is we're going to circle back to one of the more popular issues, one of the more, let's say, culture issues, and that is what has gone on. And we've touched on it a little bit before. But we're going to talk about okay. All right. We're going to talk about P. Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs, or Puffy, or whoever you want to, whatever you want to call him. And in order to do that, we brought in a guest as well. And we're just going to talk about it from a common standpoint. No. We don't have any inside baseball, no inside information where we're talking to somebody who has hung out with him or somebody with him. But for those of you who don't know, I'm gonna tee it up real quickly. So Sean Diddy Combs, Puffy, Puff Daddy, whatever you want to call him, as a music mogul over the years, who has a producer, a business owner who has really been instrumental in hip hop culture. Um, and he has been accused of a number of different, um, by a number of different people, some horrific activities when it comes to dealing with women and men. When it comes to sex trafficking, when it comes to violence against women, just a number of different activities. We talked about this before. And so we're talking about it a little bit differently today, though. And that is in the sense of what is our reaction as far as what we can and cannot do. We've talked about this before because for a lot of people, there's a lot of artists out here who have done bad things. And where is the line drawn when you can continue to be a part and support? And where is the line drawn where you have to pull yourself just totally away? We could go down the list. I mean, we can go down. It seems like everyone is getting in trouble for doing something. And so we have, R. Kelly, of course. You have P. Diddy now. You know, we always talk about James Brown. We talk about allegations against Michael Jackson. And if you really, you can look at it, there's even more people that you can go into allegations against. And so one of the topics and the questions are, where is that line drawn for us? What is appropriate for us to do as people? Can we listen to their music? Can we not listen to their music? Is there certain environments where we can listen to their music? Like you can listen to it in your house, but you can't listen to it at a cookout or a public event. Or you can listen to it in the car, but you can't listen to it at a wedding, at a reception or something like that. Or, where is it okay to participate if you still want to? Do you have to pull down all your posters? Do you have to throw away, I know they don't have that anymore, but do you have to throw away your CDs or your records and everything like that? Can you not be happy that you celebrated it as one of your songs when you graduated from high school or college or whatever? Can you not be happy anymore that it was your, whatever kind of celebratory song or issue? Do you have to look at it differently? Do you have to change how you've done things because of the artist? They say love the art, not the artist sometimes. Is that true? Is that a real issue or a real thing that we can participate in? We're going to jump to it. Our guest is having a little bit of trouble with their connection. It has kind of bounced off. That's why I announced them but didn't bring them in. And so we're going to wait for them to reconnect and get back in. But as we do this, any thoughts from anybody, comments or anything like that, or when it comes to what's our responsibility? Can we not still enjoy the art form when we have somebody who's gotten into some trouble, into some really bad trouble? The thing about Puffy's situation is that we saw it. It's on video. Everybody can see it live and in color with your eyes. And you can see the horrific things that he did, even though he sat back up here and told the world he didn't do them. Now you got caught. And does that make a difference? Because you not only did it, but then you lied about it. Now you're going around on the tour talking about how you're sorry and things like that, or you're sorry that you got caught. It just depending on how you look at it. And then of course, all your dirty laundry comes out. And so, from our standpoint, from bystanders, from consumers of music, from just people in general, how do we approach the art, not necessarily the artist? And he was a producer. He was the owner of the record company in a sense, and so it's less about listening to his music, but it's about listening to the music of the people that he produced. So you have to cut them out. Is it how many degrees of separation, as they say? And so it's how do we look at it there? And hold on, because we're seeing if our guest is getting reconnected here. But yeah, while we wait for them, I'll say this: there's been people who have worked with him in the past, and what they're now doing is they're coming out and they're saying, "Well, I'm sorry I worked with him, and I apologize for not knowing and things like that." I don't know whether or not that's a necessary um, route to take or necessary path to take. Do we need to apologize for being connected with someone? Do we need to apologize for being associated with someone who has done bad things if we didn't know about it? Yeah, I think it's a little different if you knew what was going on and you were just being quiet and just trying to get, whatever you can get out of the situation, whatever money that you can get. Um, but do we think that that's necessary? So I think we got our guests good now. We're gonna bring them in. Here's how we're doing it.
All right, I'm here. Hey, what's going on?
All right, well, we got a little bit of lag, so but I think we're all good. So, we're talking about Puffy, and so the first basically question is, and I want you to give your thoughts about how you feel about the situation, about what he's done. But I want you to answer this question. A lot of people, we cancel folk out nowadays. You know how we did R. Kelly. Can't listen to R. Kelly no more, and people kind of complain. You can't listen to certain artists when they get in trouble. How do you feel about Puffy now that you've seen everything that he's done? You've seen that he lied about it, and then he got caught. And I know you saw the video of what he did to Cassie and everything like that. But from a standpoint of just you, and not even just you and even your around you, your family. Like, are you going to listen to his stuff? Do you tell your family like, look, y'all can't be listening to him and supporting him anymore? Where are you coming down on
Diddy got hits, man.
that?
I'm I think the same thing that went with R. Kelly and all the other, even how Weinstein and Bill Cosby. You got to separate the man from the art and what he does. So, like, I mean, people have been talking about Diddy doing things like this for decades,
Yeah.
and so I'm not surprised about any of the behavior he's shown, because that's what men of power do. If they're not, having a lot of money and being popular doesn't necessarily make you the greatest person. Actually makes you more of who you actually are. And so, you know, but that doesn't mean that he can't turn a party out, and so, but I think he got caught up in the same situation that, a lot of these black men are getting caught in. He's a man of power, and he's influential, and a lot of people, come for your legacy when, you do the wrong thing to the wrong people. And so, and I think he probably got caught up with the wrong person, and somebody said, "I'm gonna get you for this, Diddy," and he got exposed.
Yeah. Well, tell me, what do you think about all these people who are sitting back now? Some of the former artists that he worked with, just people in his orbit, who are now coming out and saying, "Oh, I apologize that I worked with him, and I feel so bad that I worked with him," and da 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 da. Whether they knew or seen anything or didn't. Do you feel like that's necessary? Like, if you were associated with somebody who did some bad stuff, do you feel like you need to apologize on behalf of, I guess, I
No,
don't know, yourself? I don't know.
no. I mean, my thing is, and I've heard a few people come out and say, like, "Well, why didn't you say this earlier?
hmm
Like, why?" I think the moment is here, and now everybody's got their special story that they want to share. So I think, a lot of people are just trying to use it to get some airtime, and it's not really anybody that, because Usher talked about it, but he didn't really go into the whole. When Usher came, and talked about Diddy, he didn't talk about Diddy as being such a vile and nasty man, and how he was such a con artist and all of this. He talked about how Diddy influenced him, and he said, well, some wild stuff going on, but he was still an influential part of my career. And so I think what a lot of people get caught up in the moment. Now, I'm not at any stage or level am I excusing what he did. He
hmm
was, I mean, his behavior was crazy. It was out there. He did some foul things to that lady, to Cassie, and other women too, I'm sure, and men, as I understand, happened as well. So so I mean, he did some foul stuff, but that does not take away the fact that during the 1990s, he was one of the most influential musical moguls across the world. You know,
Yeah.
so and so he worked with people. He started people's careers. People became millionaires because of him. And
Mhm.
I don't think it's right for them to start saying, well, he was this and he was that after the fact that this man helped you pursue your career. And so I think people are just riding the wave. You know, people just kind of go with the flow. And sometimes you just got to stand on what somebody did for you instead of speaking on what everybody else sees.
That's a good one. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, he's been punished. Had to do a lot of things. Give back his key to the city of New York. It was also reported that they rescinded his honorary. This doesn't make any sense to me. They rescinded his honorary doctorate uh,
Howard, right?
from Howard.
Yeah.
Now it's an honorary doctorate. How do you rescind something that's whatever? He didn't earn it anyway, but he had to rescind that. Do you think? And I think based on your previous conversation, do you think that those activities are necessary? Like, does everybody need to make a statement because he did some bad things? You know, does a
Man,
statement need to be made? So if you're associated, is that what you expect? So for example, if you went to Howard, would you expect Howard to have to say something? Would you expect, if you honored him or something like that at any point in time, do you expect to have to speak on that particular issue? Or can you just be silent and be like, hey, that ain't got nothing to do with me?
it, I mean, from my perspective, it ain't got nothing to do with you. But because from my understanding, he was a significant donor to Howard as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they're gonna take away his honorary doctorate, you should get a brother back his money too. And I don't know. I don't know. They may give him money back or whatever, but I don't think you should be. I don't think you should be shooting out any kind of statements and retracting honorary degrees if you're not willing to stand all the way 100 on that stance. So I say get that man his money back. I think it was millions probably. Get that man his
Yeah.
money back and take your degree.
Yeah. One more. Let me go hit this topic one more. And this question goes right to it. The question says, or the comment is, right. The first thing we do when we get caught is fess up. When Peter was identified as one of Christ's disciples, what did he do? And that led that was perfect time. It led right into the next question. Do you fault him? We talk about honesty and we talk about how people are supposed to be. Um, eh, how much do you fault him for not fessing up, for denying it at first? Is that human nature? You're sitting here like somebody says you did some horrible things, you're just gonna be like, "Yep, I did them things." Like, what? How much do you fault him for not telling the truth initially?
I don't fault him at all. I mean, hey, you don't want people to know that you did stuff like that. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, I I think sometimes people take lies too personally. Like he was trying to protect his legacy, he was trying to protect his image, he was trying to protect his business. I mean, of course he's gonna lie. I mean, I don't fault him for doing that. I mean, I think it would have been better for him to get in front of it.
Yeah,
That and then he can, at least have some control on how it's perceived. But no, I don't fault that man for lying. No, I mean, he's trying to protect what he built. When you have so many people that are coming for what you built, you know, you gotta do what you can to protect what you got. So
yeah,
I don't fault him for that.
yeah,
I fault him for beating that lady like that. I mean, and I'm sure that wasn't the first time. That was just the time he got caught on camera. So
definitely.
so
Yeah,
I mean, I can condemn his behavior for that, but even still with that, what's going on in his head and his heart? that causes him to feel like that,
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think as part of, and as a community of Christ, those are the type of things we need to look at instead of we can condemn the behavior and still forgive the man, and so, but the man needs some help, and money can't buy you that kind of therapy. You need to actually work
Yeah.
on being, a better human being.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. And comment here, supposedly Howard gave back $1 million. So they did give back some money. So
But
I'll
they
give him
did
credit
give him
there.
money back. All right, all right.
I absolutely love having people like you on who are multifaceted in the sense like you keep your ear to the street, you know what's going on. So we're going to pivot totally off of P Diddy, and we're going to move into the WNBA. And I know that you know what's going on. There is for everybody who doesn't, I'm gonna tee it up and make sure you know because everybody's not a sports fan. WNBA, you have Caitlin Clark. You have this young lady, Caucasian lady who is a outstanding basketball player, female basketball player. I think that's the way you would say it. And she's having a rough time. She's getting beat up in the league. They're treating her like a rookie. Hard fouls and all that other kind of stuff. And on the other end, you have a young lady, black lady, Angel Reese. She's a champion in the NCAA, and she's also a rookie basketball player. And she's black. And so there's been a lot of talk and dynamics out here where they're talking about race, and they're talking about, oh, well, got this Caitlin Clark lady, and she's white, and so she's getting all of this love because she's white. And then you have other people talking about, well, she's white. She has to be protected. And you got all these thugs like Angel Reese beating her up and blah, 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 blah. Just touch in on that a little bit, man. How do you when you're hearing all of this going on, they talk about hard fouls against this girl and this is crazy and blah, 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 blah. When you hear all this going on and you hear the race dynamics, what's your take? What have you been hearing about just all this WNBA stuff?
Well, I've actually been watching, and to be honest, it's very entertaining. They're playing hard nosed. They're playing basketball the way I grew up watching basketball, and so Caitlin Clark is catching it because she's a star. She's catching it, but Angel Reese is catching it too. And so I saw a girl clothesline Angel Reese the other day, and so it's the game itself is it's a lot more aggressive than the college game, and so the game and it's entertaining. It's actually, you're seeing a lot harder fouls. You're seeing more exciting plays. They're trying to really draw in a different audience. And so, I mean, and nothing can draw a crowd better than a white girl getting slammed to the floor. And so, I mean, it's just the game. I think they're using Caitlin Clark as a marketing tool to get more people kind of connected to the sport so they can generate more revenue because it's a business at the end of the day. It's a sport and it's fun to watch, but it's really a business. And so in order for them to sell tickets to these arenas and sell these jerseys, you got to get people in the seats. And the way they're marketing the game, I really enjoy it because it's good basketball, but it's hard-nosed, tough basketball. And I've never seen girls or women, excuse me. I haven't seen women's basketball played at this level before, and it's a good time. It's fun to watch.
Yeah. A good comment. Can't stand the heat. Get out the kitchen. The more people complain, the more people watch. Absolutely. So do you fault the WNBA for playing up the race card? Because I feel like they're a part of it. Do you fault them? Because you remember, we had Magic and we had Larry Bird, and that was one of the, right before Jordan came in there, they're credited with saving the NBA. That was a whole white black dynamic. So do you fault them? You think that's wrong to do that, or you think it's okay?
I mean, it's business. It's business. I mean, you're gonna make the right move to make it, to make it profitable. And I mean, Caitlin Clark, I mean, they're giving her a lot of the credit, but Angel Reese is really playing very, very well. And I know she's on a better team. And Caitlin Clark is on a team. She was on the worst team in the WNBA, and people don't really give her credit for that. She's not going to be great this year. It's going to take her a while because her team's not good. Her team is bad, so she has, but the beauty of what the WNBA is doing is they're changing the dynamic of the game. And so they're making more people watch it. They're making more people pay attention to it. And I think it's brilliant the way they're doing it. I commend their business savvy and playing the race card a little bit to try to, encourage more white people to say, "You get them, Caitlin. Don't take that." I like the fact that they're working on trying to get this really, charged up and trying to sell these tickets. That's exciting for me.
Yeah. Another comment. Today, people watch more women's sports than ever before. It's a great time to be a woman athlete. It's reminiscent of what Tiger did for golf. They played up the fact that he was black. Now, Tiger tried to downplay it at certain points in the career, but they played that up. Same thing with Serena and Venus Williams when it came to tennis. It's the same thing when it was Danica Patrick when it came to race car driving. They played up the fact that she was a woman. So they play up the dynamics. I think a lot of times, like you said, it's business. A lot of people have a serious issue with race, and when anytime that you can bring it into play, you're gonna get some eyes. You're gonna get some folk watching. Some folk think that it's wrong. Some folk think that it's right. I think people just like race. They really do. Like people like to talk about it, like to complain about it. It sells tickets.
Yeah, but I think that surface level, though, if you get people involved on the surface level and they actually see the game and then be like, oh, or they see that, and that's with anything. Once you get past the surface and you actually start to dig into what's really happening, you start to actually get involved and understand better. And so, and I know, we're talking about basketball, but that goes with anything. If anybody uses race as a way to attract people to a situation, you're definitely going to expose some of the underlying issues, and you're going to at least inform people at the bare minimum.
Yeah, because I know the NHL would love to have a black player. I mean, they got two that I know of. They're just not that good. I mean, they okay.
There's a few brothers out there playing hockey. There's a few out there.
Yeah, they would love it. You have a superstar, no matter what it is. Even when you're looking at I don't know if you remember Michael Sam in the NFL. When he was trying to have a gay player. They were like they're trying to build it up. Again, you have to perform at the end of the day. No matter.
You got to be good though. Like you got to be a star.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't just be like a random, player on the bench. You got to be a star for it to happen. And so Caitlin Clark is a star. Like all those people you're talking about, Serena was a star. Tiger Woods was a star. So Michael Sam's, that brother wasn't going. He didn't even make a team, I don't think. So
no, they tried to prop him up. He ain't had no business being in the NFL.
They tried it, but if it's a good way to get people involved in the sport. So I commend Caitlin Clark. She's gonna have a great career. She's gonna make a lot of money. She's gonna sell a lot of tickets.
Yeah.
But Angel Reese is dominating. I don't know why Angel Reese isn't getting the nod that she should be getting. Caitlin Clark is probably gonna be Rookie of the Year, but Angel Reese has been killing it, man. She really has. And so, but that I also think is race-based as well. So,
and the one sad thing I'll say is that I do think that this is a good way for a lot of people to realize how racist your relatives are. depending on how they describe the, you know, if you're white, depending on how they describe Angel Reese, or if you're black, depending on how they describe Caitlin Clark, you can find out how racist your relatives are. It's a good a litmus test, I want to say there. All right. Well,
Angel Reese is the deal. Man.
Well, look, our time is gone. I appreciate you jumping on with us. I appreciate your opinions, as always. And it's good to be able to talk about some of these things. These are the things that young people are talking about. These things that old people are talking about. These things that everybody are talking about. They're talking about Diddy. They're talking about WNBA. And, you know, we talk about it as well. Make sure we get it out there. Appreciate you. As always, just want to remind everyone, you know, we're here every week. 8 o'clock, I'm sorry, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for Impact 2024. Thursdays, 7. We have our weekly Bible study. And on Sundays at 10 o'clock, we have service, worship service. So please join us here on Facebook and YouTube. And to everybody, thank you for joining us. And have a good one.